Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Just wanted to say welcome to our very unconventional 2020 leader meeting. We appreciate the flexibility. If we are having any technical issues, feel free to chat us so we know. So everybody right now is on mute and you will remain muted until the very end. If you have any questions, feel free to utilize that chat box. Whichever one of us isn't talking at the time, we'll kind of be moderating that so we can answer your questions. And then at the very end, we'll open it up. And at the top of your screen, you should see like a little person with their hand raised. At the end, if you push that button, we'll be able to unmute you so you can ask a question out loud if you'd like to. And we'll describe those instructions again once we get closer to the end. And then you'll notice down at the bottom right corner, there is a file share box. So as we're going through our presentation, and if we refer to any files, we're going to upload them as we talk about them. And then if you click on them, there's a little button that says download file, so you can download that directly. But we will also be sending them out probably tomorrow via email with all that information. All right. So we first just want to introduce staff. I'm Madison Gaskin. I'm a county youth coordinator. And I'll let Megan and Marcy, you guys can introduce yourselves.
I'll go. I am Megan. I am the 4-H and Family Life Educator for Polk County.
And my name is Marcy Van Sand. I'm the other County Youth Coordinator here in Polk.
And then we have Paul Gibbons, who currently is our Executive Director for the county, but he will have a position change beginning June 1. And so he will be a Regional Director and he will be employed by the state office. And then we have 3 state 4-H staff, Lisa Green, Tiffany Berkness, and Mary Sue Hartung. And we currently have hired for the summer Mason and Isabel.
So we are going to start off with just a little bit of an icebreaker. So I was thinking, did we skip one? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the first one and just type your response down there in the chat box and I'll read some of them as they're coming in. So the question is, what's your morning beverage of choice? Coffee. I expected that one to be a popular one. Ooh, tea. Mountain Dew. Nice one, Adam. Water. Lots of coffee drinkers. The pink drink from Starbucks. Megan has to be with the 4 shots of blonde espresso over ice. Add cream and 2 packets of the green sugar. I think I got that one right. So it looks like we have a lot of coffee drinkers in our crowd. So we'll move on to the next one. What's a TV show you've been watching lately, or one that you would recommend? I think all of us are getting low on our what we've watched. So what are some good ones? You got any options for us? MeTV, Ozark, Modern Family, The Office again, Good Girls, Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu. Madison, I know you said you were needed some ideas, so there might be some good ones there for you. Those sound like some great options.
Okay, so our next one, what is your favorite outdoor activity? Oh, swimming, walking, hiking, gardening, walking the dog, stargazing, that's a good one. It's like there's a theme of going outside and being outside. I'm glad the weather's finally starting to get nice so that we can do that. Zoom calls, I like that. All right, and our next one, what is your family's favorite meal? Burgers, tacos, salmon and rice, tenderloins, Mexican food. I miss Mexican restaurants right now. Anything I don't have to cook. Yep, I'm right there with you, Lisa.
All right, so we all know that right now is a pretty stressful time. So we wanted to end our icebreaker with a little positive note. What is something that you are most looking forward to in the next 6 months? Yeah, going back to work. That will be nice. Some touching, hugging. Honestly, any social time with friends. Getting your hair colored and permed. We've had conversations about that in our office. People are missing their salons. Patio gatherings will be nice with the weather. So even in these uncertain times, we all have really exciting things to look forward to. One thing that I'm really looking forward to, which some of you may know and most of you probably don't, is that my husband and I are actually expecting and will be welcoming our first child in September. Okay.
All right, so I don't know how I follow Madison's big news, but moving on to some other congratulations that we have. So in March were state project awards and different opportunities that the kids were able to interview for, and like almost everything, those awards were done virtually. So the participants got on WebEx and interviewed with a panel of 3 judges. And so congratulations goes out to our kids from Polk County who did a great job. So receiving state project awards was Megan Ford in dog, Sebastian Janelle for rabbits, Bethany Kelly for veterinary science, Abigail Kelly for environment and sustainability, and Braden Weldon in swine. We also have 2 members who will be representing us on state council. I see we have a typo there as well. So Grace Johnson from the We Excel 4-H Club, and then Braden Weldon with Alleman Aces. So we were on a roll with We Excel, it looks like, when we were typing, so that's a mistake on our part. And then Iowa 4-H Reporters, Bridget Johnson was selected with that, and that's it happens during the state fair, and it's part with Iowa Public Television. So congratulations to those youth. Let's see if I remember how to change the slide, ladies. Okay, so getting down to everything that we have to share for you. Some of the emails have came out, and the deadlines have been delayed until June 1. So the June 1 deadline this year, all 4-Hers must be enrolled and active in 4-H Online to exhibit at county or state fair. All animals, with the exception of rabbits, poultry, and cavy, need to be ID'd in 4-H Online by June 1. And then 4-Hers for 4-H must be turned in by that date as well. So we'll go a little bit further into those here in just a minute.
Okay, too many people with slide control. Brief enrollment updates. So normally we have a paper for you to pick up at this meeting. We're going to work on getting that to you. You'll see in the file share now, there's a club enrollment. You can download that and find your club, and it will tell you who you have active, inactive, pending, and incomplete. So if they're active, they're good to go. Nothing else needs to happen. If they're inactive, they have not enrolled yet for this year. And if you know that they're not planning on enrolling, if you could let us know that, we can get them removed from the list. If they're pending, usually that means we're waiting for payment. I've been pretty on top of still being able to check on the credit card transactions. If they've sent a check to the office, there is still somebody checking the mail, so we'll know if that check comes in. And then if they're incomplete, it means that they started the enrollment process, but they never hit submit. And it could be that they wanted to add credit card information, or it could just be that they forgot to hit submit. So if you can help us just kind of get that cleaned up a little bit before June 1 so that we're ready to go for county fair. Also, make sure that you as a leader are enrolled. And then, yeah, we'll get an email with that as well when we send out the recording of this.
Okay, I made it. So we'll go back to what I was saying. Livestock IDs, as of today, this is what 4-H Online is showing us. I know that there's people who've checked out tagging kits and haven't actually uploaded that animal information into 4-H Online yet. So as of today, these are what our numbers were looking like. The next thing I have for you is the 4-Hers for 4-H. So it's an annual campaign conducted by youth members of State 4-H Council Finance Committee. Clubs are encouraged to donate $3 per 4-H member. The funds benefit financial aid that helps pay fees and different things for youth to join 4-H, to attend different conferences, and a whole lot of other things. It also goes to fund state conference to keep that price low. Other projects approved by the state council. So the campaign, usually it runs through May 1st or May 15th, but once again, that has been extended to June 1st. So if your club is looking at doing that, since all of your funds are now in our office, those finance claims, if you can get them to me so that I can get them to the right spot, so that hopefully we can just cut one check to the foundation, and I would like those to me by June 1. And those can be emailed, and I believe in one of our updates we did say that they only need one signature from a club leader now. So that is one way that you can still support the 4-Hers for 4-H if your club is able to.
Okay, so as you all know, we had our annual leader training in February. If you are unable to attend that, we just need to have you take that training online, and you can access that through 4-H Online. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. I have a how-to with pictures all set up, so I can send you that if you are unsure how to access those. And we will do an audit by June 30th to see who hasn't done it yet. And just a reminder that if leaders haven't completed their annual training, when it comes time to do chartering this coming fall, you will be put in provisional status until that's completed. So you will want to get that taken care of. And speaking of annual leader one-on-ones, we really liked the format that we chose to do last year, hosting them all within 1 week. This year, I'll be on maternity leave, but Megan is going to step up and help Marcy. And they are going to host them the week of September 28th through October 3rd. I believe you can use that link right now, but we'll also send it out via email. And we decided that 60 minutes would be a better time slot versus the 30 minutes, just to allow a little bit more time. And same as last year, that is when you will receive the premium checks for your club members. So you won't be able to get those until then. And also just a reminder, Marcy did send out emails to people who were missing documents for club chartering. So if you have an email from Marcy that you didn't submit something, make sure you get that in. Otherwise, your club will be put in provisional status. And just to kind of recap on what club chartering is, you have to have 5 members from 3 different families, and volunteers have to have completed and passed all onboarding and annual training. You have to submit a 12-month calendar, and there will be a financial audit. So now that all of your club finances are in our office, it's a little bit easier because we just need you to fill out the document that we've provided, which we'll get that to you again. And then we'll just submit or print off a summary of your finances for the past year. We'll be able to submit that. And then we will also need a list of your club officers. And we understand that early in the year, you probably won't have your officers selected yet, so you'll be able to submit those later. And then you will just have to complete a compliance form, because everybody, if you are, unless you're a new club, have already completed the chartering form. And then as a reminder of the different statuses that you can be assigned during chartering, active means that you've passed and have completed all the requirements from the previous slide. Provisional means that either one or more of those requirements are not met, and so then your club will have at least 1 year to rectify that and get put back into active status. And then if you are in provisional status for over a year, your club will be closed. If you have any concerns about what your status is right now, feel free to reach out to us. We have done a really good job at getting our chartering in, so most clubs are all active. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out.
Last year at one-on-ones, you got a curriculum guide. If you don't have one of those, if you've lost it, if you just want to look at it virtually, there is a link there. It is up on our website, and it has a description of all of the different curriculums that you can check out from us, such as our STEMlet to Go, BBots, our 3D printer and pen, Makey, sewing machines, other 4-H curriculum, circuits, and more. So if you're interested in learning about that, you can click on that link. It's also just up on our website on the 4-H part of the Polk County Extension website. And then we are happy to help you get those checked out so that you can use those in your club meetings.
All right, just a quick shout out to the 4-H Advisory Board. This year they worked really hard to offer many workshops. Unfortunately, we did have to cancel the photography and communications event due to COVID-19, but they are still really excited about offering more workshops next year because we did have really great attendance. The thing that we are looking for is some input as far as what those topics would be. So if you could encourage your club members, families, and yourselves take the workshop ideas survey, that would really help them. And then I also just want to remind the 4-H Advisory Board. Marcy, are you having trouble hearing me?
No, but Carrie was, so I was just trying to figure out if you two could both hear each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody else can't
Sounds good.
hear, feel free to type in the box so we know. But the advisory board is here to support 4-Hers. So if there is any activity or event that they would like to attend, please encourage them to complete this scholarship form so the advisory board can support them. And then the advisory board is starting to plan and work on annual awards, which I believe is my next slide. Yes. So this year, the applications are already up and available on our awards website. So if you have kids that are starting to work on their fair projects and doing their write-ups, it's a great time to have them start filing or filling out those applications because they're pretty similar questions. Also, just a reminder that youth do not have to submit a project into the fair in order to apply for an award for it. Awards are really all about your learning, not necessarily the quality of a project. Applications are due October 1st at noon, like always, but this year, because I will be gone, Megan is going to help with that. And so all of those things can be submitted to Megan at her email address, or of course you can mail it into our office. And then interviews are going to be held October 13th and 14th, which is the typical Tuesday, Thursday situation, beginning at 5 p.m. And the awards ceremony will be November 8th at 2 p.m. And then as I mentioned in our training, we are going to do an annual awards club participation competition because we are seeing that our numbers of participation is dropping in annual awards. I had mentioned that the advisory board would come up with what the prizes would be at their April meeting, but unfortunately that was canceled due to COVID-19. So they weren't able to come up with that, but hopefully we'll be having a virtual meeting in May. And so we can talk about that and get that information out to all the clubs.
just like the award applications, the county council applications are also updated and on the website. So you can download those and get them filled out, and they will be due on September 2nd, which is that first Wednesday in September, to my email address, or you can drop them off or mail them into the office. We're going to hold interviews the week of September 7th, so we're going to try something new this year and have more than one night, so maybe we're not at the office until 10:30 doing interviews. So that's a goal. And then our max that we're going to select is 30 youth. And I saw a question, Nicole. Yes, 9th through 12th graders. Hang on. Is this the first slide? Okay. There we go. So the next thing is the Service Banner Club. It was new last year. Clubs can be recognized for the service projects they participate in throughout the year. If you do 1 hour of community service as a club, you can get a bronze button. 2 to 5 hours will get you a silver button, and then 5+ hours will get you a gold button. At the end of each program year, the club with the most will receive the Service Club of the Year award. Those buttons will be ordered, and they will be here for the county fair this year if you got those buttons last year. So you can pick those up from us. I'll be letting the clubs know when and where that will happen. And then what counts as service? So any event that your 4-H or Clover Kid Club volunteers for, so you're not making money, as well as any countywide service event that we organize as Polk County 4-H. If it's a countywide event, we only require 10% of your club participate to be eligible. If it's a club service project, we require 75% of club participation. And you log hours by submitting a spotlight through our Clover Power link. And there's questions in there that ask you how many people participated, how many club members you had, what you did, how many hours, and then it also asks for a picture so that we can share that in Clover Power.
So just to highlight some of our upcoming events, Marcy is still working with Anna Childs to hopefully coordinate some dog obedience classes. We are currently unable to host in-person events until June 1st, so they would be starting in June at some point, but the dates haven't been set, and Marcy will communicate that out when that is. Most of you are probably aware by now, we did send out an email, but the 4-H state conference for this year unfortunately has been canceled. And this fall, we are hosting a retreat. Thank you, Tiffany, for the correction. The 25th, September 25th through the 27th for mindfulness, which will be open to 8th through 12th grade youth and their families, because it is really important to have that family partnership with the mindfulness. And then we are also planning an Omaha Zoo trip October 10th through the 11th for 4th through 6th graders, which will be a really fun event. The youth actually get to stay inside of the zoo. And I believe, is it still the Night Owls weekend? Or whatever they call it there. So it'll be really cool.
All right, so now we get to the part about the Polk County Fair. I'm just going to start off by saying that at this time, Polk County Fair is being planned as normal. With that being said, there are committees at the state level who are looking into alternatives if for some reason face-to-face fairs cannot occur. So the information that I'm going to go through is if we hold fair as normal, this is what we are going to be doing. If that changes, we'll have to bring everyone back together to give them some more updates. So getting started, Polk County Fair, it's scheduled for July 18th through the 24th. Our theme is under construction. Seems very fitting for this year. So this is our logo that was designed for us, and it's awfully fun. So moving on, fair entries. County and state fair entries, they're still due on July 1st. Entries will be accepted electronically only, so we're using Fair Entry again this year. Because our deadline for enrollment into 4-H and livestock has been extended, we are also extending when we open Fair Entry. So Fair Entry won't open until June 2nd. So 4-H and Clover kids log in with their 4-H online information. FFA members will need to create a new one or create one if they haven't already. So if they were a 4-H member or an FFA member last year and showed under FFA, they can use that same exact login. It saved that information. For youth who are showing both, they will need to log in separately. That way that it makes sure that the correct club is associated with their entries that they're exhibiting. Entries will be payable online by credit card or by cash or check in our office. All fees must be received in our office by July 1, 5 p.m. That's not the postmark date. That's when they need to be to us. Late entries may be made 2 days after July 1st, but must be done in the office. Credit card payments will not be accepted for late fees, and it's $50 additional per youth per day. So fair entry help dates. We have one additional date this year. It seemed to work pretty well for us last year. That fair entry was pretty easy for most families to use. So the multiple days that we had ahead of time weren't very utilized. So we just have one. It's Saturday, June 13th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Extension office. We'll also have a room set up if people do need to come in closer to that July 1st deadline, and we'll have some devices available so that we can help walk them through the fair entry process. Entry tags. So once again, we'll have the printed entry tags. They'll be printed by our office. Tags will be available to be picked up beginning July 6th, or they'll be available at fair check-in. This year, since we don't have booths set up, they will not be available there, but they'll be there for when they check in. And as always, use detailed descriptions when registering. If you noticed last year, that description that you type into fair entry takes and goes directly on your entry card. So that's why it's so important to have that information. Fair shirts. Shirts, they can be picked up after entries are made. So after June 2nd, we hope to have those shirts in our office, and they'll also be available on judging day. One thing to point out that this seemed a little confusing last year, shirts are first come, first serve. We pre-order the shirts. We don't order them just based on what people select in fair entry. So if you registered for a small and we're out of smalls because you waited too long to come get them, we may be out and you may have a medium or youth large. So get your shirts early if you need a particular size. Fair books. Fair books are available online already. Changes to the Polk County Fair book are highlighted in yellow. When our office opens back up to the public, we will have those available for $1 a piece. The formatting of the book itself has changed, as well as many departments within the book. Some of the rules have changed as well, and I'll highlight those here briefly. If you're looking for state fair information, that link is there as well, and you can check it out. So here's the additions and changes that I have for 2020. So instead of livestock judging, we are going to be doing a livestock skill-a-thon instead. So this kind of tests the knowledge of a youth on the different species. We will have a junior, intermediate, and senior division in this, so that they'll have an opportunity to kind of, mostly it'll be just fewer questions in the time frame that they have. The rules and everything for a skill-a-thon are printed in the fair book, so you can check out that for more information. One thing with our change in fair schedule, we were able to add Supreme Showmanship contests. So this is for those senior level 4-Hers, so 9th through 12th graders. Will have an opportunity. So the senior showmanship winner from 6 species. Let's see if I get them correct here. Dairy goat, meat goat, horse, sheep, swine, and cattle. So those 6 exhibitors will each show the other species to earn the title of Supreme Showmanship. So we're really excited for that one as well. Advanced cattle feeders. So we have taken and added a record book that they are going to be working on as well. For 2020, this is optional, but for 2021, the record book will be required. Sheep. If you're exhibiting sheep, this one was kind of the biggest change that we did in the fair book this year. The classes are simplified. So there is about 24 hours between the time the sheep arrive till the time that the sheep show. So to utilize fair entry better, we have taken and simplified those classes. If any of your kids have questions about this, we did hold a meeting back in March, I think it was, via WebEx, that we kind of explained why those changes were made. If anyone still has any questions, go ahead and reach out to me or Craig Veldhuizen, and we can better explain those for you. Swine, the date has been extended, so you can have pigs that were born on or after December 15th, in hopes that we don't have quite so many little pigs at the fair this year. Poultry. The broilers are going to come in the day of the show. As Jordan, our superintendent, puts it, is broilers are dirty animals, so they get dirty really quickly. So they're going to come in the morning of the show and probably be the first birds that get shown that day. So that will just help those exhibitors and their families keep those animals cleaner. She's also added a punny, how do I want to say it? A punny photo contest. So there's more description on there. You don't have to be exhibiting poultry to enter this photo contest, but essentially the one that she always uses as an example is putting tutus on chickens, or yeah, just different fun comments and phrases that go along with some chicken photos. Moving on to the additions in the 4-H building. So these were made at the state level then that we take and adjust for our building exhibits. So essentially it just comes down to some class number changes and a little bit different descriptions to spread things out a little bit. So in the Ag and Natural Resources, just splitting those classes out so those you have more of an idea where they need to go. Food and Nutrition, there's the prepared product and the preserved product, so it's separating that class out into two. A new class there is a $10 meal challenge. So can you create a meal for 4 using all food groups, I think is what it is. So you should check that one out in the fair book. The next one there is aerospace and robotics. So those are both now listed as classes as well. So upcoming, was someone else hopping in or is it still me? It's still me. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So we just got word that poultry testing, put Polarium typhoid is the name of the disease that we test for in poultry. However, if you remember from last year, that testing was canceled because there's a lack of serum. Same rings true for this year. That serum, yes, it's in production, but there's still such a low amount of it that they have extended that waiver that we will not be testing birds this year. So we still do have a poultry workshop scheduled for June 14th, 4 to 6 p.m. Location to be determined on that one. But essentially, she's going to be talking about how do you prepare those birds for fair so that we make sure that we can have the best birds possible. Drug affidavits are required for beef, meat, there shouldn't be a comma, meat, goat, sheep, and swine. So those are the animals that we essentially sell for fair, and the packers that we take them to require drug affidavits. We get a lot of those turned into us by July 1, but that's still 18 days between fair and that deadline. So you could still use a drug. So those need to be turned in at fair. Polk County produced affidavits, this is for cattle. If they are considered Polk County produced, they'll be showing on the Polk County produced show. They need just documentation that that animal was born in Polk County. And then YQCA, which I think leads me into my next slide. So YQCA, it's a required training for all youth who show livestock. Cattle, swine, doesn't matter if it's breeding or market, sheep, goats, poultry, rabbits. So right now the only option is the online class. If time allows, in June, I hope to hold a face-to-face class since my March ones got canceled. But in the meantime, if you do want youth to complete that online, just so it's done, it needs to be done by July 1st. You can go ahead and have them do that. If you just Google YQCA, it pops up. You're going to log in with your 4-H Online information. That way it links to your 4-H Online account. And for fair entry, it's requiring that this year. If you do it through your 4-H Online account, it'll automatically pull that information into fair entry for you. For FFA members, if you have someone showing that as well, they'll be required to enter that certificate number in there. I actually helped my niece with this last week. So she had 3 quizzes, and I admit they are not easy quizzes. There were questions that we got wrong, and I thought I knew the right answer. I was wrong. So I admit that they are not the easiest questions in the world. So, since we are not going to have a 4-H building this year at the Polk County Fair, here is just kind of a breakdown of a few things where they are going to be held. I think I'm going to upload something here really quick for you. I'm going to upload the fair poster in the file share for you, and that's just kind of a listing of the dates, times, events that we have going on during the fair, and we tried to include the location where those events will be. So in the Jacobson Arena, we're looking at doing the building judging. So no, it's not going to be out on the dirt of the arena. It's actually going to be in the walkways up in between the 2 sets of bleachers. So the top bleachers will be pulled back, and we'll set up tables, and the judging will occur there. The barbecue is also going to happen in the Jacobson Arena with the King and Queen coronation as well. So the King and Queen coronation, for that, the vision is to have that out on the dirt of the arena. So maybe not be a great year for girls in high heels, but we will make it work. Anything goes will happen there. The pancake breakfast will happen in the atrium area there. And then Bacon Buddies, I guess that's one new thing that I didn't talk about, is Braden Weldon is currently working on an event called Bacon Buddies. We partnered with Best Buddies. And essentially Bacon Buddies is giving youth with special needs the opportunity to show livestock that they might not necessarily have. So we're working on making that event happen. This year we're just doing swine, and we're really excited for that event. And then Supreme Showmanship, like I talked about earlier. So we're also going to have access to the Walnut Center. If you're not familiar with the state fair, it's just north of the Jacobson Arena. The cat show and the pet show will happen in there. And then a lot of our stage events that would normally happen on the stage in the 4-H building. So the Bill Riley Talent Show, Clover Kids Graduation, King Arthur Cupcakes contest will happen in there. The fashion show, Share the Fun, shooting sports recognition, and then the County Council movie night. So, like I said, with the limited space in Jacobson Arena, this year we are not having club booths. Instead, projects will be displayed in their judging area. So all the photography will be displayed with photography, food and nutrition with food and nutrition. Because space, we're not going to have as much space as we normally have. Youth will have the option to take their building or their projects home after judging. We will ask that any that were held back for State Fair alternate, or gold ribbon, that those projects stay so the judge can continue to look at them. But if they do get selected and the youth will want to take them home, that can be done as well after they've been selected by the judges. So since we do not have booths, we ask that you, if your club still wants to do something, to take advantage of the Decorated Bale contest. Megan's going to talk about that when we get to the county council events, but Decorated Bale is definitely an option for you. So the judging process. So not a lot's going to change in the process. It just changes where we are. So check in. We'll have a front desk set up in the Jacobson atrium. So it's on the west end of the building, the big entrance with the big tall windows and that kind of thing. You will receive a form and your tags if you didn't already pick the tags up from our office. You're going to go to your judging areas and check in with the superintendent. So like I said, that part's not changing. So you just walk up to your judge, check in with them, get your name on the waiting list, and then go check in with your other areas. And we always recommend going back to the one that's shortest. You'll get in there first and then go back to the next one. Getting judged. Judges will indicate your ribbon on your received form. So it's a printout. It has barcodes on it from fair entry. If you wish to have your project displayed, you will leave it in that judging department. If not, you will take it home with you. If it's being, like I said, if it's being held back for state consideration or gold ribbon consideration, the judge will indicate that and they will keep the project in that area with them. And if you're not wanting them to be displayed after the building reopens for the barbecue, you'll be able to take that home. After all projects are judged, you want to make sure that you turn in that checkout sheet. I think my next one gives me more information. Nope. So that paper form, if that doesn't get turned in, that's how youth get premiums. I actually think there is a slide coming up, but I think that's one of the biggest questions that we get, and I have still been getting, is why didn't this kid get a premium? It's because we never got that paper back. Clover Kids judging process. Very similar to the 4-H judging process. They're going to check in. There will be alphabetical at a front desk in the Jacobson atrium. You'll receive a form and tags. You go to judging with your superintendents. When you're done judging, if you want the projects to be displayed, leave them in the judging area. Because Clover Kids love to have their projects on displayed, we don't want to say, nope, you can't leave 50 items, but because we do not have the space, only 2 items for each Clover Kid will be able to be displayed. Otherwise, they can take them all home if they would like this year. You want to check out and turn in that form. Clover Kids don't receive premiums. However, if you get in the habit of turning that form in, it'll be second nature when they become 4-H and do start receiving those premiums. Youth and adult open class. So this is open to any Polk County resident, as I choke on my water. And there's 4 different divisions listed in the fair book: horticulture, photography, fine arts, textiles, and foods. You turn in this money between 9 and 12 p.m. or 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Saturday of judging. There's no pre-entry, and projects will be on display until 3 p.m. on Thursday. Keep moving here. Clover Kids events. Clover Kids events, we've always been asked, what can Clover Kids all do at the fair? So this is just kind of a breakdown of day by day, what can Clover Kids do? So Saturday, there's the building judging that's open to Clover Kids. If they want to do more than what they can in the building area, they can also do the open class judging. There's the cat show and the pet show. Then on Sunday will be the Clover Dash 5K. They can also enter the King Arthur Cupcake Contest, the pedal pull, and then we'll have Clover Kids graduation that day as well. Monday will be Decorate a Bale. Clover Kids clubs can do that as well. And then poultry, sheep, and meat goat shows. Tuesday, pancake breakfast. Who doesn't love pancakes? The swine show, rabbit and calvie show, and then the horse lead line activities that evening. Wednesday would be the dairy goat show, and then the open bucket bottle calf show. So Thursday is project release. Exhibit buildings, we want everything out of there by 5 p.m., so between 3 and 5 would be the time for that release. Livestock, everything is going to be released at 5 p.m. unless it's been told that it can leave earlier than that. A lot of the Clover Kids events, you bring the animal in the day of, you take them home that evening. So those are all listed in the fair book as well. Premium checks. See, I knew there was a slide on it. So the premium checks, livestock, it's based on the ribbon counts that they enter into fair entry. Same thing with building. However, you must turn in that form that you pick up at the check-in desk. If that's not returned, we have no way to tell that, yep, Billy entered this, 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 and this. However, we don't have record of what ribbons, because that form was never turned in to us that he took around to the judges. Checks will be written to each youth individually and given to the leaders during the fall one-on-ones. We encourage you to get those to those youth as soon as possible. I've had a lot of people contact me and say, hey, that expired after 90 days and I didn't get it to them. Sandra doesn't get too happy with me when I have to contact her, who's the fair board treasurer, and say, hey, that person didn't get their check and now their bank won't take it, because that does cost them extra money that they can't put into other things for the youth. So please get to those checks to those kids as soon as possible. Megan!
So the county council has their usual fair events. They're on different days with the different days of the fair. So the Anything Goes contest is actually going to be on Sunday night. It's $1 entry, and then per club, not per person. And first through third place will get a cash prize and a ribbon. You must be enrolled in 4-H or FFA to participate. So Clover kids, unfortunately, can't participate in this, and anyone not registered or enrolled in 4-H or FFA cannot participate. And we have in the past combined clubs. So if you have a club that only has 4 members and you need 6 members, and there's another club with only 2 or 3, we can combine those clubs. Decorate a Bale is on Monday morning. There's no theme for this, so you can choose to decorate that bale however. Sometimes they follow the theme, sometimes they're completely random, and there's really no rhyme or reason. We've had ones with the theme win, and we've had ones without the theme win. Those bales must be in the barn by Monday at 9:30 a.m., and they'll be judged at 10 a.m. This also is a $1 entry per bale, and first through third place will get a cash prize and a ribbon, and you'll need to fill out an exhibit tag, and we will have those there for you that morning. After that, the pancake breakfast is on Tuesday morning. It is a free will donation, and you will have pancakes, sausage, milk, orange juice, and coffee. And then their last event that they're going to have this year is the movie night. It is, the dates, is it Wednesday night? I think it's Wednesday night. In the Walnut Building, and that is for 13 years old through 12th grade. And thanks to the American Legion for a donation, it is completely free. So they donate money, which their donation covers the cost of the movie license that we have to purchase, and then it also covers the cost of all the snacks that the county council provide. And then on Sunday, July 19th at 8:30 a.m., we have the Clover Dash 5K. We're still looking for sponsors, volunteers, and runners. That is live, so if you want to do that, you can head to the website and sign up to be a volunteer, sign up to run. Clubs with 50% participation in the Clover Dash receive a $50 reward to the club. And we are also looking to assemble a youth band. It would be year 3 of our band for the national anthem. So if you know anyone interested in this, have them get in touch with me, and we'll get that going. There's no skill level required. They can be just starting out on their instrument through a senior in high school with a lot of years of experience. There's a place for everyone.
All right, so fair duties. All 4-H clubs have been assigned a duty that we ask them to complete at the fair. If you're unable to perform the duty that you've been assigned, it is your responsibility to find a club that is going to replace you. If a club does switch position, please let me know so that I can get that updated on my master copy, because we'll have copies of that at the fair so that people know who's supposed to be coming when. So I have it on my next slide, but then I'm also going to upload it into the file share while you look this over. The ones that are assigned Barn Watch, I had reached out to them, and I did my best to accommodate the nights that they were looking for. So if you want to, I know it's hard to read on the PowerPoint slide, but I did just upload it in a PDF down here on the bottom. So please make sure that you check that out. We'll move on to the next one. So what's available for you on the Polk County Fair Iowa website? So King and Queen applications, those ones are still due on May 15th. So every 4-H club and FFA chapter can actually have a King and Queen contestant from them. Those contestants need to be 16 years of age by the first day of the Iowa State Fair. So this year, the 13th. Megan, do I have my date right? Okay. August 13th, the first day of the Iowa State Fair, those contestants need to be of that age. And those applications are still due May 15th, 5 p.m. They can be emailed or mailed to our office. Clothing event form. So this form needs to be filled out and brought to our office July 11th. That is the day of judging. There's a sample copyright letter. I've gotten a few questions these days. People are working on fair projects while they're home all the time. And so these would be where you would look for that information. There's a photo label. There's actually, if you take a look at our Facebook tomorrow, there'll be a video explaining how to map photos and the photo label, how it should be attached to the project. Communication poster form is located there as well. The livestock affidavits. Inappropriate food exhibit list. This one was updated again this year. They're trying to keep very current with the food safety rules and everything like that. So make sure you check that out when you're looking at what you're going to bake or prepare for fair. Preparing vegetables and flowers for exhibit, those are listed there. There's links to project hot sheets and tip sheets as well. And the last thing is the preserving labels, the labels that you put on the can. Those can be found there, but we also will have them in our office. If that's something that you need and you're not able to make it to our office, let us know and we can get those mailed to you as well. Encourage thankfulness. The Polk County Fair Board and Polk County volunteers help secure sponsors and donations that make fair enjoyable with prizes, money, and trophies. We encourage 4-Hers and their clubs to write thank yous to these donors and sponsors. We have a list at the fair of all of these sponsors and donors, as well as we supply the thank you cards. And if you drop thank yous into our appreciation station box, we take and mail them even for you, especially if there are people on our list, because we have those mailing addresses. So encourage your youth to take part of that, or even your own children to fill out those thank yous, because we do the postage, we do the mailing, we look up the addresses, all of that for you guys. Livestock Auction. So this year the Livestock Auction will be on Friday, July 24th. We're going to start that at noon. So we've seen a decrease of the number of buyers that have been on hand to purchase these animals. So that's where we ask that the 4-Hers help secure their premiums. Right now, if you're in the livestock industry, you know that the market prices are not very good for livestock. So to help these kids out, ask them to go recruit potential buyers. Some ideas: the co-op, feed store, veterinary bank, a parent business. I know me growing up and selling my livestock, majority of the time it was they were bought by the John Deere dealership in town, and that my dad worked for, and then as well as the bank that we used. So ask if you need invites. I do have those available. If someone needs them, let me know and I can email you those out.
One thing I just want to point out about fair that we don't have a slide about and didn't mention, the communications event. If your youth or club members participate in that this year, because of the lack of having our 4-H exhibit building, we are hosting it on July 11th. So it'll be the same day as the clothing event. And I just wanted to point that out. So we are going to do working exhibits, educational presentations, and extemporaneous speaking that day. We're not entirely sure what exactly that schedule will look like, but most likely it'll be a couple hour time chunks because we do want to encourage members to listen to their peers, especially because they won't have as much of an audience as they typically would during the fair. And then Share the Fun will still be held during the fair week, and it will be in the Walnut Building. So I just wanted to point that out. And happy National Volunteer Month. And actually, I think it's Volunteer Week this week. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being flexible and adapting to these times. I know many of you are making efforts to connect with your youth virtually. We see all the hard work that you're doing, and we really appreciate it. And I know that the youth appreciate it too, because everybody is struggling from their lack of social interaction. So any effort that you are making is really appreciated. And that's it. So right now, as I mentioned,